हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू टुडेज पॉडकास्ट एंड आज मेरे गेस्ट हैं राहुल अग्रवाल। राहुल को आप सब जानते हैं एंड थैंक यू सो मच इतने अच्छे रिस्पांस देने के लिए। राहुल के साथ फर्स्ट पॉडकास्ट में हमने ये समझा था कि क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं जो आप ऑप्शंस में कर सकते हो आफ्टर लीविंग पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक। एंड आई वॉन्टेड टू मेक इट वेरी क्लियर कि हम किसी को सजेस्ट नहीं कर रहे थे कि आप अपनी जॉब छोड़ दें, हम सिर्फ आपको ऑप्शंस बताना चाहते थे। एंड टुडे बिकॉज रिसीव्ड सो मेनी क्वेरीज फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ यू, आज का पॉडकास्ट उन सब क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स देंगे राहुल। सो वेलकम राहुल अगेन ऑन माय पॉडकास्ट।
Thank you, Soumya. Love to be here again. So I agree, and I thank you for your viewers for giving such a good response. I have personally got a lot of messages as well as calls with several queries, and I have given these queries to Soumya. So we are going to discuss these queries in this video, so that the answers and a discussion which I had with several people can be propagated to the wider audience.
First question is, tell me about how government job is like, whether it is central state government or PSU and PSBs.
Yes. So, Soumya, this was a very common question which I got from my calls as well as the messages which I have responded to. So, this is a question mostly coming from students that what is a government job actually like? Now, why this question is coming? I know that because in the 70s, 80s, 90s, our population was oriented towards a socialistic mindset because of various things. Now the returns have not been that good. So there is a total, what you can say, a fight of views that what actually it is. Because the feedback on the ground is not that good, but the views of our previous generation are really that they are the heavenly jobs. And I do see some posts even on Reddit where people are dumbfounded after joining jobs that what is actually happening. And this is also a mystery for the current central state and PSP and PSU job people who are actually serving. That what will be in their future? What is the future of what they are actually working? So I want to take this question in a very deep dive manner here. So, my friends who are, of course, in their 20s, you should understand several things about government job. Now, government job is a job which has pros and cons. जैसे हर जॉब का प्रोज एंड कॉन्स होता है, प्राइवेट जॉब का भी प्रोज एंड कॉन्स होता है और गवर्नमेंट जॉब का भी. The biggest pro of government job is job security. The government job enables you to work till your retirement. There is a very small power which can make you leave this government job. And why is that? We have to understand why government job has a job security. If you see your appointment letters, there is always a line that you cannot be fired below the authority who has appointed you. So when you join a central government job, the appointment letter is by the President of India. The state employee is the governor of the state, and PSB is the chairman, like that. And so currently, accordingly, even today, a president can fire any central government employee because he has the power. But please remember, there are hundreds of guardrails. You cannot be just like it can be assigned. There will be a vigilance inquiry. There will be too many hearings. You can go to the Central Administrative Tribunal. So it's perfectly to have to say that this job has job security. Now this is a biggest pro. But please remember, even the government knows this. The government knows this that this is the biggest pro, so they are going to take a lot from the employee in return for this. And that is what exactly the government is doing. So, the cons. Let us come to the cons. Cons is transfers. Cons is the government job is not that challenging. It is not giving you those skills. Take, for example, a person joining an ASO job in central government in the early 20s. You will see all those YouTube videos of how the good is the assistant section officer life. You're getting a first, you're getting the first in-hand salary is quite good. You get CGHS scheme and everything is good. But what after 10 years? That is the question you need to ask yourself. When you reach your 30s, when you reach your 40s, will you be able to do this job? See, a government job is monotonous, and that's not the government's fault. The structure is like that. They are going to work under some rules and regulations. They cannot go beyond that, and the rules and regulations are getting tougher by day. So, if in a ASO job you have to mark a file noting in this way, you will be marking in the same way for the next 10 years. There is no discretionary power. Other thing is, there is no use of learning skills. Like if you learn Python, what's the use? So you will be discouraged to learn all that. So are you ready for this type of job? In a government job, you will be getting good salary, which may not increase to good amounts as you go. You will not be having much power. Power is very relative. Only in India currently, the only people having power are the police or the highest level officers posted in your district. If you think that a person sitting in the CEC office, the Election Commission office, has any power, sorry, he doesn't have any power. So get out of that, that once you join a government job, you will have power. Sorry, you will have no power. Only some sectors have power, like the police. The earlier times of we had, if you remember, we had a gazetted officer. And I remember when I was in college, when you had the form to be attested by a government officer, gazetted officer, people used to line towards her. That was a power. But that power has also gone 10 years ago. Now self-certification is only there. You don't need gazetted over attestation. Slowly your powers are reducing day by day. So please don't go into government job just because you want power. Next thing is transfers. Are you able to take transfers? Transfers are a little problematic nowadays. Earlier, I think I was in a transferable family. It was not a good experience, I would say, in the 90s, in the 2000s. You have to leave your friends, you have to leave your place. And if I can tell you, government jobs will still have transfers. Some jobs don't have transfers, like the ASO jobs, like that, but a lot of jobs have transfers. Will you be able to take that? Ask yourself. Next thing is, you will be posted in rural areas. Please accept that. Please, we cannot whine over it at why I'm being posted far away after joining a government job. That's the nature of the job. So I have asked several people who asked me this question, how is the government job like? I asked them, where have you grown up? They said city. Okay. Are you accustomed to a good nightlife of the city? Yes. Then I tell them, before joining a government job, please understand that you will lose everything. You know that Panchayat series has an episode, the first season, that he misses his friend's nightlife. I'm telling you, that is a reality. You will be missing. I have been in that place. You will be seeing their Instagram. You will be seeing your Instagram with all your colleagues who might have gone into private jobs, and you will be feeling jealous. If you're ready to take that, that's okay. But if not, please don't put your step into that pond. Because again, it's no use studying for a government job for 5 6 years, then leaving for the in the next 2 years. It's not very good at all. It doesn't it feels very bad. Means I was not that I just cleared the exam in 1 year, so I didn't have that feeling, but I know several people who have that feeling, who prepared for years, and then in 1 year they want to leave this job. Then I will tell you, you have not wasted 1 year, you have wasted 6 7 years, because you have not prepared for anything else also. So take
Right.
all these things into account, please. Yeah.
So I would also like to add, because I was posted in rural for almost 3 years, it depends on person to person also how you perceive it.
Yeah.
As I was posted in rural, I was also not feeling good that
Mm,
my friends are posted in cities. But when I look back now, I
mm,
feel that was a very important chapter of my life because I learned so much of humility because I was posted in rural.
mm,
It gives you a lot of respect. And when I was posted in rural, I could motivate a lot of girls to take up higher studies and join, I mean, any kind of corporate life. So I had a very good experience because मेरे पास लड़कियां आती थी ये बोलने के लिए, प्लीज मैम आप मेरे पेरेंट्स को समझाओ कि हमें पढ़ने दें या हमें जॉब करने दें।
mm,
या फिर वुमेन आती थी मेरे पास ये कहने के लिए कि प्लीज मैम आप इन्वेस्ट करवा देना हस्बैंड का ऐसे जगह पर जो मेरे बच्चों को फायदा हो। तो
mm.
मुझे लगता है कि कई बार फीमेल स्टाफ को देख करके भी अ लॉट ऑफ मोटिवेशन पर्कोलेट्स। एंड मुझे लगता है दे आर एंड स्टिल व्हेन दे कॉल मी कि हम लाइफ में अच्छा कर रहे हैं बताते हैं वो। तो मुझे लगता है मे बी दैट वाज आल्सो अ पर्पस कि आप जब देखते हो लोगों को आपने किसी को कैसे इंस्पायर कर दिया यू डोंट नो। इट वाज फॉर मी इट वाज जस्ट अ जॉब विच आई वाज डूइंग। मुझे रूरल पोस्टिंग करनी थी इसलिए मैं वहाँ पर थी। लेकिन अगर उससे कुछ लोगों की लाइफ चेंज हो गई है तो आई फील गुड अबाउट इट नाउ looking
Yeah.
in retrospect. So it,
So yeah, I agree to that, Soumya. My last branch was Vani. It was a rural area. It was the best time, which I said in my last video. But again, आपके ऑडियंस को यही कहूंगा कि प्रोज एंड कॉन्स देखिए.
हाँ,
इफ यू आर
pros
रेडी
and
टू
cons
टेक
देखिए।
दैट,
and
देन गो फॉरवर्ड. या.
and it's always कि आप कैसे परसीव करते हैं अपने लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस को ये बहुत डिपेंड करता है। एंड बहुत बार आपके लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस जो आपको लगता है कि बहुत खराब हुआ आपके साथ वो इवेंचुअली लाइफ में कभी ना कभी किसी पॉइंट पर आपको लगता है कि वो भी हुआ तो वो भी शायद अच्छा था आपके लिए। सो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन यू हाउ यू टेक इट। और उसको अगर आप एज अ चैलेंज लेते हैं गोइंग यू विल एक्चुअली enjoy every kind of phase you will be facing in your life.
यस.
So my second question is that what are the options after spending 10 years in government job? Suppose किसी ने already 10 साल invest किए हैं किसी भी government job में फिर वो change करना चाहें तो what are the options for them?
दिस इज अगेन अ वेरी रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन, सौम्या. क्योंकि आपने उन 10 सालों में किया क्या है. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट अस टेक द केस ऑफ सम IRS ऑफिसर्स विच आई रेड एन आर्टिकल. Lot of IRS officers resigned after GST came into force.
Right.
Firstly, because they suddenly were getting a huge demand of technically qualified tax who knew the tax thing and who could juggle this new maze. So I think they were placed in a very good thing, very good sector, and they took the opportunity. So, are you placed in that type of sector which is giving you some kind of technical knowledge? Technical knowledge doesn't only mean science or engineering, technical knowledge in every kind. Then maybe people who work in power grid or in GC means if they want to leave, they would really get good openings outside. Why? Let us take of Deloitte consultancy, for example. Now, Deloitte consultancy, PwC, everybody do projects related to utilities, oil and gas projects, electrical companies projects of America. They need subject matter experts. They don't need computer science guys. They need subject matter experts from oil and gas, from electric distribution, who can understand the business of their clients and help them implement that. So you can switch to private consultancies like Deloitte, which pay really good and which have a very good environment. Now, in banks, where I come from, see in PSPs, talent skill is growth is quite less. If you're not in one specialized department, which I think maybe treasury or
Credit, international banking, these are good
something like
departments.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
But very few people are able to get into this. Other than that, if 90%, I would say you cannot develop skills. It's not your fault. The structure of the bank is like that. You won't be able to. I could not develop any skills in bank, technical skills, because uh, I'm mostly talking to customers, encouraging them to do what you can say, invest something, encouraging, telling their queries. So the private sector doesn't need all that. So the people who are in these 90% need to understand that first of all, they need to select a sector which they want to go to and work towards that. Doors are always there. But the thing is that it takes time to open that doors. Now, I would say I was one of those 90%. I switched in a time when competition was less. Okay. Now let us take the example. I'll take my example that how when I switched. When I switched in 2014-15, and that time I went into a consultancy after my MBA. They were happy with my banking background. They're happy with my fin, and therefore I got a banking because they, like I told in the start, in just a few minutes ago, that consultancies need subject matter expert. So I could join a company because they needed somebody for that type of project. Okay, 2026 is slightly different ball game. The industry has matured quite a lot. Now they only don't need your background, they need your skills too. So if you're in 10 years, I would say learn a lot of computer skills. But these are secondary again. Okay, learn the core languages. You don't need to learn C, C++. Learn the implementable languages like Python, like be good at Copilot and Excel. Again, an example. Get good some, take a, let us say, take data science. Make yourself good at data science. And then you can target credit risk modeling, quantitative risk modeling, and you can target the freshers or the early experience jobs. Learn statistics, go deep dive in statistics, learn how to implement them, make your own portfolio, put that on LinkedIn. That this is the graphs you have made. You have analyzed so and so companies. You have take the company of a stock which is listed in a stock market, analyze that, put your own analysis on LinkedIn, make a portfolio, and keep on learning. That is how you will be able to switch in 2026 in the banking domain. Again, in banking, investment banking and model risk management pay the most nowadays. And as India grows and more jobs come in, you will get more opportunities. So I would say for banks, learn the first thing is learn all the banking domains, actual banking domains which are implemented on the ground. Second thing is learn the core subjects of maths like statistics. Then I would say learn Python, learn Excel, learn SQL, learn all these things and make your own portfolio and present it on sites like LinkedIn and put it on resume. Do some projects, freelancing projects. And this is how you will be able to sell yourself to a company which will value your skills. So first time in the first 5 years, company want good skilled people at low cost. I think that is the best selling point which you can have. If you can take the financial hit for a few years, you can sell yourself. I am skillful, but I'll take less money. So this will really help in getting you inside that industry. And after that, you can make your own path by your heart.
And within the bank also, there are various departments. If you join as a probationary officer, I feel that you should try these
Mm.
departments like credit, treasury, international banking because they have high demand. And
Mm.
I know many of my batchmates who have directly switched from bank without doing an MBA.
Mm.
सो दीज आर डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड जब आप ज्वाइन करते हो बैंक, ट्राई टू मेक अ प्लान, एटलीस्ट एक कुछ प्लान होना आपका खुद का भी चाहिए, बिकॉज
Mm.
अनटिल अनलेस यू डिमांड कि मुझे कौन से डिपार्टमेंट में काम करना है, आपको नहीं मिलेंगी वो चीज़ें. सो यू हैव
Yeah,
टू आस्क फॉर द अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जो विद इन
yeah,
द
that's
बैंक आपको
correct.
मिल सकते हैं.
That's correct. I totally agree what you're saying. Yeah.
सो गो फॉर राइट अपॉर्चुनिटीज, गो फॉर, बिकॉज चैलेंजिंग रोल्स आपको बहुत कुछ सिखाते हैं लेकिन वो आपको डिस्कम्फर्ट भी उतना ही देते हैं.
Mm.
सो बी रेडी कि अगर आप ग्रो करना चाहते हैं, बी रेडी फॉर द डिस्कम्फर्ट। बहुत सारे मेरे बैचमेट्स हैं जो फॉरेन पोस्टिंग में गए हैं, तो उनमें से कई लोग हैं जो फैमिली से दूर रह रहे हैं,
हाँ,
हस्बैंड या बच्चों को छोड़ के गए हैं। सो
सही बात।
दिस इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल कि लोग फॉरेन पोस्टिंग भी लेते हैं फ्रॉम एसबीआई इटसेल्फ। तो इन चीज़ों को यू शुड ऑलवेज कीप इन माइंड। नाउ टेल मी, इज हायर स्टडीज अ गुड ऑप्शन आफ्टर लीविंग और आफ्टर हैविंग एन एक्सपीरियंस इन एनी काइंड ऑफ गवर्नमेंट जॉब?
Um, as of now, it is the best option. As of now, practically, I'm talking only about practical terms. Seeing the reality of the industry around me, I would say higher studies is the best option right now to change your profile. Because first, the whole world is in a maze. It always is. Now, if you have a good resume, how will you be able to search for jobs? You need that education. You need that orientation of mind to search for that job. See, a banker, PSB, SBI banker, like I was, if I searched directly for a job, I would not have understood the world. That what is happening means I had done my resume, and then why are they not calling if they need it? When I went into MBA, I talked to so many colleagues who were from different industries. I could understand that world. And that helped me later on. So currently, as of now, higher studies is a good option. But again, age matters. अगर आप 40 years में जाएंगे and 30 years, it will always be a very wide difference in this. I went before 30 and I had an advantage like that. But अगर आप 37 38 में जा रहे हैं, थोड़ा इतना फायदा नहीं होगा, मैं ये कहूँगा।
And suppose, tell me one more thing, Rahul. Suppose someone wants to switch
हम्म।
and they want to understand what are the skills which are being asked or what are the skills required currently by their present role. I mean, if someone is in marketing, someone is in insurance, and they want to switch. So, how to understand that what are the skills required for that particular job?
Okay, the skills are always there, what they write in the job description. So you will
Okay.
get to know that, and you can ask before the interview that what skills you are looking at, and they would have selected your resume only after going through it.
Okay.
Now,
How to know the skills? That what are
skills.
the skills required for I
Okay.
mean, suppose someone is
Hmm.
already working as a marketing officer in bank, and
Hmm.
they want to switch to marketing roles in the private sector. Without MBA, they want to understand what are the skills which are being asked by the companies right now. So how can they identify those skills that before leaving their present job, they can equip themselves with the current requirements?
Okay. So right now the marketing jobs in India, see, there is a very wide difference between the marketing jobs which are shown on movies and what is in real life.
Right.
Mostly people who are doing marketing are doing CRM software, managing the customer relationship management softwares. So you have to learn those tools and then market it that you understand the CRM tool and you can help the company with it.
Okay.
So marketing operations is again based on totally on tools. Finance is based on tools. So start learning different tools. Python is a tool. Excel is a tool. SQL is a tool. Then I would say several softwares like CRM, which are in the market. Salesforce. You can go for Salesforce. Salesforce, SAP, and then Databricks. These three are companies, but
Okay.
their softwares have gone into worldwide acceptability. They have different domain softwares. If you learn those softwares, then you will be able to enter a lot of companies which are using those softwares. So, like I think Salesforce is a totally CRM based company. Do Salesforce certifications. And then based on that, you can target those companies which are using Salesforce products.
Okay.
I don't know, ironically, if you know that Salesforce India chief is the former SBI
Former
chairman.
chairman. Right.
Yeah,
So, one more thing, how your salary, I mean, what is the difference which you have received from your SBI salary to the salary which are being offered in the private sector?
very interesting question. When I joined my private sector industry, again, I would say I was lucky. That time, the SBI salary was pretty less compared to what I was getting in the private sector. So, I didn't have that discouragement. I'll frankly tell you, I was getting 45 to 50,000 the last in SBI. If you remember, that was just before the 2014-15 settlement. Okay. So I didn't get the increase part. I only got the arrears. So I was getting 45 to 50,000. The first salary which I got in Deloitte was 75 to 80,000. So it was a good improvement.
Nice.
But I think right now it's not that case. Okay. So I wouldn't say in Deloitte, the first salary you will still get 75 to 80,000 or maybe 85, 90. But I think in SBI, you will still get more than that. Means I think if you are a scale two, you might be making about a lakh in hand.
Right.
So at this point of time, you will feel a downgrade, but I was lucky. I felt a upgrade. So even after leaving bank, I was happy. Okay, at least I'm getting 90% more salary, but it's not the case right now.
And tell me one more thing, which I get a lot of question, how to apply for private jobs, because there is so much of confusion. Getting into any government job is easier. You have to qualify one exam and you can enter the government job. But
I
entering
had
a
the same
private
dilemma.
company,
I had the same dilemma. And today, even now, I can't tell you what is the right answer. That is why I did MBA.
okay.
One of the reasons. MBA gave me that path to how to go into a private job. See, we have to go through that, what you can say, Agni Pariksha. I went through that Agni Pariksha and I got into a private sector job. Even today, if I cannot say that a person who is a PO has worked in 5 years can go to a private sector job, I don't know how to go into this. I would still say MBA is not necessary. But again, what is necessary? If you do certifications, if you do coding languages, will you be able to get into it? Yes, you will be able to get into it because several people have got into it.
Right.
I went through MBA, and that is why I suggest people, if you are younger, less than 30 or 31, 32, go for an MBA and take a placement. That is the best thing which you can do right now to get out of a public sector bank and into a private sector job. And don't think anything. Be go do from a good college. It's not that, and don't do executive MBA. Do a full-time MBA, 1 year or 2 years, but do a full-time MBA and take the financial hit for a few years and go into private sector. I'm still saying I don't know whether you can at this point of time make your resume, learn some skills, and put it on Naukri.com and get some calls. I can't say that is going to happen surely 100%. It happens, but with whom I don't know. I have not met those people, but it happens. But what I have seen is mostly people have left PSP, went through a higher studies in India as well as foreign countries. Okay, a lot of people now SBI paying so nicely that people are going to foreign countries for MBA. I've seen that. Okay, because
Yes.
I got a lot of connections throughout these 10 years. So they do that and then they get into private sector. But there is always a pipe of MBA which they are going through to get into it.
And what kind of questions you were asked during your interview?
Yes.
After,
Again,
I mean, during your
yeah.
placements.
Again, a very interesting question. Now, what I would do, I am going to take some interviews the next week. Okay, for my type of profile. I would relate this to my interview and give you a very, what you can say, clear answer. When I went into society general, okay, that was actually the basal profile. I was asked, what did you do in SBI? What did you in Deloitte, of course, and when
Hmm.
because they need a BFSI person, what did you do in SBI? How the processing of loans was done, and what did you see when you were checking the person? What do you think in credit risk factors are there? So I just told them what I was remembering from the credit scoring model, which SBI used to say that on the form. I answered that. I got selected because there was some good communication skills and there were always a comparison that which candidate is better. That world has passed on. That world is nowhere existing anymore. So don't expect that you will be asked these questions which I was asked.
So
Next
tell me,
week,
what would you
yeah,
ask
yeah,
if you have to?
yeah.
Uh,
Next week I'm going to take interviews. I'll be asking them question. My profile is of data governance, Basel. I'll be asking them what is data governance, what is Basel, what do you understand by credit risk, liquidity risk, what are the different parameters, and then I'll be asking them what is this type of ratio, what is the probability of default, how would you, what is the data quality principles, how would the data flow from this system to this system, and I'll ask all these questions which were not asked to me, but I was working in that type of profile. So in 2026, accept these deep dive questions related to the job. During my times, when the JD was there, the questions asked were very high level and the JD deep dive was not done. In 2026, the same JD, the interview goes so deep that you would just think that you need to revise a lot of concepts for the
okay.
same thing. Means in my JD in 2019, the Basel was also written. IFRS 9 was written. No, nothing was asked related to that. Today, IFRS 9 is there. I would ask what is IFRS 9? What are the three levels of IFRS 9? What is lifetime losses? What are the how do you recognize income? What are the the IFRS 9 has a lot of concepts. So I would ask these questions to IFRS 9 person.
And
So
one more question. Anyone who is working as a clerical staff, how can they position themselves if they leave the bank because they don't have any leadership experience? But suppose if someone is already having engineering background and they joined as a clerical staff, so how can they position themselves for any kind of switch?
yes. So you're talking about leadership. Even right now, I'm not a leader. So you
Okay.
need not worry about that. The leadership position in Indian private sector in the world which I am in both IT, non-IT, but the techno world which I work in, leadership things are not that much required. So a
Okay.
clerical who does not has not got a chance of leadership need not worry. They can position themselves as a worker who can work on the tools and on the guidelines and provide his skills. And then they can develop their leadership potential as going forward. So don't worry about anything that whether you will be able to have those leadership skills, have good communication skills. Local language skills will not work. English skills will work. Yeah. And it's not like you can stammer and speak English. I don't know whether how would people rate my communication skills, but I was not that good in SBI. I slowly picked up. Okay. You cannot stammer and keep on speaking during your interviews if you're switching from clerical or officer level to a private sector job. That is the first impression which they would get and they would reject you. Why? Because you need to talk to Americans. You need to talk to Europeans. For them, it's their native language. And their accent, the first time you will hear their accent, you will just blow up your mind. Means we could understand American accent because we have seen their movies.
Right.
But you cannot understand British accent first time. You cannot understand European accent first time. It takes a lot of experience to understand that what they are actually want to speak. Today, even today, if you bring somebody who is from Turkey and start speaking English, maybe I will not be able to understand that because I've never worked with Turkish people, for example. A Russian, I have never worked with a Russian, but if they start speaking English, maybe I will not be able to pick up that. You know, Americans used to call me Rahul. They still
Okay.
call me Rahul. They cannot pronunciate Rahul. And Europeans can speak Rahul. So you are totally in a new world, and which you have to start speaking good Indian English, and then you can move forward. Yeah.
And there is one more question that people ask is that is life difficult for 40-year-old in private sector? Because we have seen so many of YouTube videos that In private sector, people will not care about your well-being, but you can be fired after 40. So what is the reality?
Yes, life is difficult, but compared to what? I'll tell you, I will be nearing 40. My life, and let me compare my life to a person who is currently in SBI and a male SBI person who is posted away from their family. I'm living with my family. I have a good salary. I bought my own house. I'm living in Bangalore. I can choose to go for a good nightlife. I can choose not to go. Saturday, Sunday are totally free for me. But doesn't mean that you don't have to work on Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes you do. Sometimes, but most of the times I don't have to work. And but there's always this word that you can be laid off. So you keep on investing and saving. The good thing is you get good money for investing and saving. I'm able to live with my spouse who actually earns more than me because she's more technically sound. So we are able to save good money for our future. We are able to make good assets. And living in the one city, one house, it always saves money.
Right.
Living alone, there will be always a increase of expenditure, at least 30, 40,000, how misery you live in. But of course, there will be. And now compared to if I was an SBI, going home, back and home, I don't know, but a lot of people say they call on Saturdays also for some type of camps like that. So there's always will be that problem. And go for let us take women, some women who messaged me. I would say their questions were very good. Because some women asked me that how can you means students that how can you dress in government jobs? So told them blankly, see, if you have wore skirts, shorts, dresses in college life, please don't expect you will have the same life in government job. It's not your fault. It's the structure of the government job.
It's
Yes.
not about government job. I'll tell you, Rahul, from my own experience, because you're talking about women, I should
Mhm.
intervene in
Yeah,
between.
yeah. Sure. I will
Yeah.
just tell you the answer what I told them. So I told them, see, it's that if you're looking for that type of life, please don't start preparing for it. Then
Yeah,
go into
because
some
it,
other
it, it
jobs.
will depend on where you are posted. If you are posted in a smaller city, it would be difficult. If you are posted, suppose someone is in corporate center Mumbai, maybe they can wear whatever they feel like, but it should be formal.
Yeah,
But
but
it
again,
won't work if you are posted in a very
exactly.
tier,
So
sorry,
that
tier 2, tier 3 cities.
yeah, so that is what, see, these 19, 20-year-old women have a lot of questions which they don't have, which they can't ask anybody actually. So
Right,
we have to tell them clearly, see, if you're looking that type of life, any life is good, I'd say, but if you will not, because see, some of their senior colleagues might be wearing those on private, working private sector, and they will be thinking that whether I'll be able to have the same through job security. No, that is a give and take which you do.
right.
That is a give and take. You get job security, but you have to give away that. Are you ready to do that? Go. It's okay. But if you're not ready, then don't put your next 5 years in preparing.
Correct. And how can one justify the gaps which they already have, maybe after doing the graduation, or maybe because they left bank abruptly and they don't know where to go?
So again, don't do that. First thing is don't leave the bank abruptly and make a big plan. I know it's not easy because we are under so much pressure that we want to leave immediately. But please, you have gone through so much patience. So bring more patience. Don't leave abruptly at all because it is difficult to justify a gap. It is easier to justify a gap between a graduation and a first job. I had a 2 year, what you can say, gap between a graduation and a first job. Okay.
Okay.
So I would say that I was able to explain that I was preparing for government jobs. So I was able to justify that gap.
In my opinion, I feel that 2 year gap is still acceptable, but beyond that, it will become a disadvantage for anyone who is looking for any kind of job
Yeah.
because 2 साल वो तब मानते हैं जब आप सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी कर रहे होते हैं।
Yes,
अब
so I would able to justify on that, and recession happened, if you remember. So I
राइट।
would also justify on that place that there was a worldwide recession and I could not get the joining. So I have given this excuse, but it was a real excuse several times, and every HR has accepted on the first instant.
And should they do any kind of internship or volunteer work while they are not getting job? Would you suggest that?
Yeah, but what kind of internship, what kind of volunteer? That is the main question.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say, let us say you start working in a pet NGO. That won't be useful for a consultancy. So people think you're just killing time. So you have to do something which is relevant to the sector which you are targeting.
Okay. So, from my side, I feel that these are the questions which we were asked. And I would request all of you, whenever you are asking any question, please give a brief background of yourself. जब आप क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, हमें नहीं पता होता कि आप किस बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं, तो हम आपको कुछ भी सजेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, और हम आपको जो भी बता रहे हैं, दैट इज जस्ट अ सजेशन. यू शुड डू योर ओन रिसर्च बिफोर टेकिंग एक्शंस.
Yes.
So, any parting message you would like to give?
Yeah, so if you want to ask more questions, put the comment under this video. And if we can take one more video, because our only purpose is to help you guys make a decision.
Right.
And because I have seen myself, people are very much confused. And for the first time after the first video, I came to know students are also confused. We made
Right.
that video only for the serving PSB bankers, but I've got most calls from students. So students who are in graduation, please ask those questions and please ask bluntly that what you will get.
Right.
We are not going to judge on any question that how, what do you want to work, how to dress, anything. It's a very good questions because if you are able to answer these questions, you will be perfectly aligned at what you want to do for the next 30, 40 years. I'll tell you, I left a SBI government job. I would say I was not clearly clarified of what I wanted to do. That is why I left. So be better than me. Be better than me. Make a good clarity before you join. And therefore, you will be much happier than us, right?
Thank you so much, Rahul, for this podcast. And I hope that you will keep coming on this channel to
Yes,
share
Swami.
your knowledge.
Yes, Swami. Yeah.
And so,
Thank you
thanks a
all.
lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone, for watching this video.
Thank you all. Thank you.